Hello there, everybody, and welcome to this week's Tiki Tuesday broadcast. We should be live right now at twitch.tv/warportal. I'm Siamoda, the community manager for Ragnarok Online 1. Happy to see you guys on this Tuesday. I'll be answering your questions and talking a little bit about what we have going on this week. So let me mute that a little bit. We've got some fun stuff coming up for you guys this week. We're going to be doing a bonus to VIP experience, and that's going to be on both Classic and Renewal. It's going to be VIP experience and drops, since we've had some interruptions within the last couple of weeks. So that'll be in for folks who are playing with VIP. Another big thing is that we have the fishing event that's ending on both servers. You won't be able to catch more stuff, but you'll still be able to use the treasure maps that you get along with that quest. By the way, Campator, he's out. He's taking a day off. The jerk left me all alone to have to stream. But it's okay. I forgive him. Let's see. For other renewal server events, we're having a homunculus loyalty event between tomorrow's maintenance and the 22nd. We'll have an NPC for you guys to talk to in Lighthausen. You'll register with the NPC, and basically during that week's maintenance on the 22nd, we will set all the homunculi that are, anyone whose character has talked to the NPC, the homunculus that belongs to that character will get set almost to loyal. We can't set it to loyal because it would cause some issues. It doesn't work quite right. But we set it to just one feeding shy of loyal. So all you have to do is log back in on the 22nd, feed your homunculus, and it'll become loyal, which, is a very tough thing for you guys to do. It's something where the system is very difficult to actually get a homunculus to loyal, and so we actually have a second loyalty that the NPC will go away on the 22nd, so you need to register before then. But once you have, on the 22nd and 29th, we'll do the same, setting it to just right before loyal. So if you are able to evolve your homunculus, or if you found that you wanted to recreate or something like that, you can always do that. And so as long as you have a homunculus, it'll get set to the proper level, or it'll get set to the proper loyalty. Got a little dance party going on here in old Niflheim. Maybe let's go actually head into town. Niflheim is sort of our most Halloween-y town, appropriate to the occasion, as we start getting the Halloween stuff all set up. A lot of fun places you can hang out. We'll just chill out here. Yeah, if you guys want to join me, I'm on Renewal server. Just so people don't forget what this is. Okay, next up for the renewal maintenance, this is in honor of Penny Marshall, born on 10/15, half of the Laverne and Shirley duo. We also have an October Lucky Box coming in on both servers. So that'll be for 300 points this month instead of 500. I think we'll have some pretty dynamite stuff. As soon as I have the contents, I'll have that up on the website for you. The Halloween event bug should be corrected, and I'm also working on a Day of the Dead that'll come in maybe next week. That will have some kind of fun collecting that you guys will be able to do. And let's get on to Classic. Classic, I'm going to be starting up a leveling improvement thread in our Classic Foundry. Need to get back to business with the Foundry, start getting that stuff underway again. Now that we don't really have any big renewal updates coming, at least for a few weeks, I do want us to focus on Classic and do some improvements there. Let's see. We're going to be adding an NPC to the Hugel interior map that'll take people who are looking to become a hunter to the old Payon map. So you guys will be able to get passage over there because it's different on Classic and Renewal. But yeah, in general, I'll be setting up a thread to sort of get you guys' feedback on what ways we can improve the leveling process on Classic. I know, it's certainly more grindy in certain ways than on Renewal, but one of the freedoms we have on Classic is that we can modify what monsters spawn and what maps. And so it's something we haven't done since pretty much the server launched, and I think we could take another crack at it, being that we have, all the classes we do now, we have all the dungeons and gear that we have on Classic. Oops. Trying to click on a browser window, it's not coming out. Maybe better hang out inside, a little safer in here. Hang out in the Addams Family house. Yeah. Just have a little seat here. Ooh, got my health pretty low. Could have been dangerous. You don't want to die in the land of the dead. But that's what we have coming up for this week's maintenance. We also have a number of fixes that should be going in as well. All right, why don't we get on to our questions for Tiki Tuesday. These are the questions for this week. Okay, first question comes up from X0. Do CMs and GMs spend some time to patrol maps that have been reported to house a handful of bots? I know that simply reporting a single bot requires a support ticket, but when somebody in the forums mentioned about a bot-infested map, and a lot seem to agree, or if that someone sounds credible enough, do GMs/CMs actually go to that map just to have a quick check? My answer is, from what I understand, because they are servicing tickets from all of our games, they don't have a lot of time to be doing map patrols. Tickets, especially when reporting of a large bot ring, will lead to that whole ring being taken down, but I ask players, don't assume that someone's already reported it just because it's super blatant. There's a lot of them. And especially if they're not active all the time, like if they'll kind of move to different maps. That's one of the reasons why even bot rings that are pretty blatant don't get removed. it's usually because they're part-time botters, or if they have somebody monitoring who actually will respond whenever GM comes a calling. Yeah, it really depends on if they have the time to be doing patrols. A lot of time they may not have that time. Okay, next question is from Ice Cafe Mocha, who has a whole bunch of questions. And so I will read them out now. The stream channel has an info section, and you've only managed to put a Facebook link and a War Portal link, which by the way is broken. There could be individual links to each of the games, the community raid call, the times and days you actually intend to stream, forums, partner sites, or hell, even the current Cafe Shop offers, and much, much more, but you don't utilize it at all. Why? In the past, we used to have to change this up completely between each and every stream. I agree that it has not been utilized as much as we probably could have, and so as you can see, I've actually been trying to add a little bit of stuff. Eventually have a live stream schedule, especially for the shows that we know we do each week, like this one. But yes, I agree that could be better used. I get that you want to stream other games, but when it isn't relevant, why bother? It's not promoting what you're trying to sell. Your marketing and PR skills need looking at as a whole. Would you play a game like this just from word of mouth and continue to? I hate seeing P server ads, and I don't actually think I've ever seen a War Portal ad anywhere. I love that you guys stream, I really do. If you're going to, there needs to be more, I think, people who could stream each of the games you have, so Rose, DS, RO1 and 2, etc. on separate days, or pre-record gameplay that could be used in the background as you do announcements /Tiki Tuesday. Most of the time, reviewers come to hear about the games relevant to them, and War Portal, I'm almost certain of that, given the comments made by the last Tiki Tuesday by a few viewers. In terms of the cost, one of the issues why we don't do as much advertising as frankly we'd like to is that at least through traditional things like advertising through Google and through other kind of general marketing things, the rate of return has been surprisingly low. The amount of money that costs just to get one person to click on the website, to get that person to register an account, to get that person to download the game, to get that person to continue to play the game, and getting the person to actually purchase something to support the game is not in any way an effective use of our funds, unfortunately. Part of that is just, having to download the game is a pretty big issue. If it was playable from a browser, or if you had one of those things where you could actually start playing once the game is downloading, those are some of the things that other companies have done to sort of keep people from just like, oh geez, it's going to take half an hour to download the game, no thank you. So part of the problem is getting people to stay after you spend all this money to recruit them. I think the reason why you're seeing the P servers on there is that they're advertising on very specific sites, and that's something that we're actually looking into, is more targeted advertising, looking at what sites our players like to go to, and maybe doing that instead of larger ad buys or advertising on big gaming websites, which seems to be kind of a lot of money for what you get. And the price for advertising have just been crazy increasing. But I do want to have more ads up. I want to have more ways for us to advertise the game. It's something that I don't know very much about. I've actually been trying to learn recently just how to do more of the promotion side of things, most of my experience is through retention, not acquisition of new players, but it's something where we'll all have to work at it here at Warp Portal, sort of learn how to do a better job of that. So I do appreciate the feedback and the criticisms. We can always do better. Next question is also from Ice Cafe Mocha. Has there been any ETA on Warp Portal based wiki or database, given the changes are different to that are different to the already established DBs and wiki? I recall asking a similar question, which you said it's a possibility, we could work on it. I'd love to know where certain mobs are with correct and updated information, as I'm sure new players would, especially with Classic. The renewal system with maps telling people the level range of the mob and at X, Y, and Z is a good place to go to. Whatever level the person is a great idea. Would anything be added like this or to the site or in the game? Would an in-game database for mobs even be possible? I mean, ideally, if we had the manpower and if we had the expertise, it would be nice to have something like the old Rune Midgard's library on our site. It would make a lot of sense to have some sort of in-game way of telling what monsters are appropriate for what levels. That would actually be more doable than setting up a DB on the Play Ragnarok site. But that still would include a lot of information, a lot of scripting that would have to get done. Things like readable books are possible, but that's sort of a lot of information to stuff on there. It makes a lot of sense to have more information available in game where players will actually be able to see it. Because as good as Divine Pride and IroWiki are at being able to convey this information, there's a lot of stuff where it shouldn't be expected that a new player to the game would have to seek out these out-of-game resources. I mean, they do a wonderful job of it, but it is making up for something that we do not have addressed in our own game. Can Guild Dungeon get some love? Out of all the Guild Dungeons, this one seems to lack density and feels like the worst one of the Guild Dungeons to level and hunt in. We can always revisit the Guild Dungeon Foundry thread, see if we can make some improvements. Will your new thread about classic leveling in the Foundry include the thread you asked me to make? There will be a link to both the TI and leveling improvement threads in the OP of the new Foundry thread. Edit, notice a few people complaining about the storing of items regarding potion creations and having to swap and trade around. Couldn't the max item amount be raised from 30k to an infinite number? What are the purposes of this cap? I honestly can't see this as being game breaking or impossible to do either. Not sure if that's possible for us to change here without Caro being involved. Zero Tigress asks, revamp Juno bounty board please, kind of changing around and sort of moving to a better area. Yes, that should be possible for this week. Spike XP brings up a previous question you'd asked. Geffen's 80 to 100 board is bugged. I can't take the evil druid quest. That will be fixed this week. Please add a hunt all monsters option. Yes, we'll be putting that on at least some of the bounty boards this week. For those of you guys who don't know, the bounty boards are they're monster hunting quests that are available from NPCs, signboards that are set right next to the tool shops in the big towns. We've added one in Geffen that has some of the glass time monsters. I'll be safe here. I'll just sit behind this gravestone. And so it's kind of a convenient way to take quests without going to like an Eden group type location. Fuyuki-kun asks, please add a hunt all option for the Eden leveling quest 100 to 140. That one we'll take a look at. And also, please fix individual bonuses of Ager pieces and combo bonus of the set. It's already been here for a month, never been fixed, so people fish for nothing. The bonuses should be fixed this week. For the hunt all on the Eden boards, we'll have to talk about that one internally. Yang Wen Li asks, when do we get White Lady transformation hat that gives magic attack instead of attack like the drooping Edgar hat? It's sort of a we have a headgear that it has a chance to temporarily turn you into one of our monsters, and we've had a lot of fun playing around with that effect. That should be appearing in the not too distant future. Bellinoy says, can we have an option to turn succubus or incubus horns into costumes? That actually could be a pretty cool thing. I think we'd have to request the costume versions of the headgear if we don't have them already. But I think that could be kind of cool and appropriate. Necroheliac has some questions about the fishing event. Unfortunately, Camptor is not here, so I can't really answer too many questions on those. Xero is kind of asking if it would be possible to have a player run, basically like a bot hunting group. It's something that we have talked about for quite a while, if it would be possible. One of the issues is that when it comes to suspensions themselves, they kind of have to be done by an employee of War Portal, because there is some accountability there. If people have paid into their account and they're suspended without reason or accidentally suspended, they actually would be able to complain because it's not an actual GM who did the tests. For something where it's super obvious botting, I know that right now there's a player or moderator run spam killing group where they actually are able to kick out or mute spammers. As far as actual bot hunting goes, it's something that has always been something that people have asked about, but the practicality of doing it and the accountability stuff, making sure that people are so that their activities can be tracked, so we can make sure that people aren't doing weird stuff with these with the accounts. That would be something that we need to set up beforehand. But it's not outside the realm of possibility. You know, you guys may think this is a plain shirt, but also I'm out of focus. This is actually a RWC shirt. No, I'm totally invisible here, but it actually has some RO monsters on there. It was the shirt that was given out for the RWC tournament, and that totally made me invisible, like a ghost. Let's see. I don't even remember what I was talking about. All right, let's go to page 2. Beata says Thorn trap skill's been disabled in maps that have no MVPs. Example, the skill is disabled on Light Halls in Dungeon 1, where there are no MVPs around. It's enabled in Light Halls in Dungeon 2 and 3, where the MVPs spawn. Yes, we'll take a look at that this week. Razez asks, are you all ever going to disable bloody branches in Orc dungeons? Someone let Tal loose in there earlier, had some fun killing it though. The issue is that we're not able to block skills or items by map itself. It has to be by map type. So unless there's a special separate map type that we could assign to that purpose, it would mean that we'd have to disable bloody branches on all maps. So that's why the dead branches and stuff got severely limited back before. It's because we could only disable that on a map type basis. Okay, Face Killer asks, has the summoner been fixed or will it be fixed? Last I heard it was just stealing people's stones and not letting them enter. We had a report from about, a report not too long ago that said that there may still be a problem. We'll have to check that out. From what I heard last month, about 30 days ago, there was a similar issue. But after giving people reset stones and resetting their cooldown, it seems like they're able to get in okay. I hadn't seen further reports, but we'll definitely have to check that out. Melly asks, am I late? I would like to ask you if you have permission to add costumes from Jero that don't exist in Caro. We can request stuff from Jero, but it's still going through Caro. Costumes and things like that, I think actually some of the stuff we have tomorrow may be some of the Japanese costumes. But I don't know if we'd be getting anything that never came to Caro. There's a number of things that will be Japanese Ragnarok that they get it, but even Caro would not. I think it's because they may actually have an internal team that's able to build items, NPCs, that we probably wouldn't see here. Long string of numbers has asked, when is the Halloween hat expected to be released? The Halloween hat this year will be like the witch's pumpkin hat in costume form, but it'll actually have a glowing pumpkin, which is pretty cool. So that should be coming in this week. Fiala Yokel asks, why is Zilly unable to see this section? It's just a permissions thing on the forums. If you're in certain groups, like some of the Fungineer creative groups, it may not be set up properly to be able to see the question thread. What happened to the Novice Grounds revamp project for Classic? That's still coming along. we found a better way to make maps after developing the classic PvP room. So we're actually working on that. Any chance of considering character copy / transfer from renewal to classic now? One issue that we have with that is the question is like, how is it just classic users who have renewal characters that they kind of want to bring over? Like, is that the big driving force? Are there actual renewal people beyond just a few that would be, we would like to actually play on classic, but leveling on classic is too tough. We want to be able to bring over our X level character with our X level gear. The logistics are not insurmountable. Transferring a pre third class character to classic is theoretically possible, but the issue is this just going to be a way for people to bring over, to sort of power level characters on renewal and bring them over to classic, for classic players to be doing this? Like, if it actually is renewal players, like, hey, we want to be doing stuff on classic, we want to participate in the PvP, but leveling in pre-renewal is too difficult. I mean, that's something different. If there were enough people who actually would be willing to take part in this, it would have to be a vast service or something that gets done in a big batch, so it's not a huge drain on GM time. But yeah, we're not going to have Kageros and Oboros on classic server, I think. Now, actually, since we were testing it out during the PvP tournament, I'm going to be giving out a code which will give 5 days VIP once, so only one person will be able to redeem it. You can only redeem it once per account, so don't bother if you already have redeemed it. But I'm going to give out a code. I'm going to give everything except for the last number, which will be between 0 and 9. So whoever is able to guess that, you've got that. All you have to do is log into War Portal, go to power up your account. It'll be under Ragnarok Game Coupons. It'll have a place for you to enter it in. This is where you usually enter in codes to get Code the Redeemer stuff. So you'll want to get to that page and have that ready. I'm going to read out that code in just a second. All right, I'm going to use NATO code. So it's like Alpha, Bravo, Charlie. What is it? Alpha, Bravo, Charlie, Delta, Echo, Foxtrot, Golf, etc., etc. So I'm going to read that out now. All right, that number is going to be Echo, Delta, Romeo, 631-843-916-073-063-91. Question mark. That code again, Echo, Delta, Romeo, 631-843-916-073-063-81 question mark. So all you have to do is guess what number that last one is, and you'll have 5 days of VIP. If you already have VIP, it'll just add the time on to the end of your subscription. So you'll have an extra 5 days before you run out. if no one's gotten that yet, I'll put the number. Putting that number out, so in case you guys are able to grab that. Okay, I think there were some more questions. So yeah, regarding the transfer, it's something that we'd probably be talking about. Probably not for the Foundry. It would probably be on the main section of the community chat. A poll or something like that to see if people would be interested in transferring to Classic, and talking with the Classic community about what kind of items would actually be able to be moved, if any, with the characters. Also assessing if there are enough people on renewal who are actually interested in this, as opposed to people who are on Classic who just want to bring over some gear and characters. It's something I'm not personally opposed to, but it could be interesting. Extra annoying question from Zelly. What's going to be done about the illegal items on Classic? Duped, armed-teed, etc. Whatever they are you on top of it? Yes, we actually are. There are still investigations on suspect items. Preference is given to people who report suspect vendors on the forums or in game with screenshots. Those are usually the easiest for us to track. But yes, the GM team is always in the process of investigating suspect items. Okami Maru asks in the Twitch chat when we find out about the Halloween loading screen contest. I believe tomorrow is... Let's see, let me put a link to that, because the art in there has been pretty fantastic. That's right. The entries have closed as of tomorrow. Let's see. Oh, very cool. Got a Bada-chan loading screen at the very last moment. Yeah, for the people who are submitting loading screens that they only have a handful of posts and look like they could be an alt, it's something where I'll definitely have to check up on that. That's the questions that I have right now. So yeah, we'll have our big maintenance tomorrow. I already talked about what's going to be coming in. As for what's going on this week, started watching Twin Peaks since our last Tiki Tuesday. Found out that the show's coming back. Actually, pretty darn excited for that. Uh, let's see. You know, there's a lot of fantastic old series that I haven't watched in a long, long time, or I didn't really watch when they were first on. I watched a lot of the X-Files. I have some very fond memories of that. But Twin Peaks I totally missed, and so I'm pretty happy. Pretty happy to be picking it up now, especially after having an entire lifetime for people to be like, you know what, don't worry about finding out what really happened here. Just kind of let the weirdness of it soak in. And I think I'm perfectly okay with that. I'll just hang out here in this mystery universe, trying to find out what happened to Laura Palmer. So yeah, big fan of the series. It's definitely weird as hell, but I'm glad to be watching it. I'd like to thank you guys for watching during the stream and joining me here in the game. I don't even know if I can get out. It's like Mount Rushmore here. What the heck, I'll sit down. I'd like to thank you guys for watching Tiki Tuesday. We have our Friday Let's Play, and we'll probably be doing a live stream with CM Merida. I have to work out a better way to do timing on our live stream stuff. If you have stuff that you'd recommend that we do, or if there are certain times when you're more likely to be watching, let me know. Ice Cafe Mocha says, Oda, did you ever watch Quantum Leap? I know that I watched a lot of it when I was a kid. I can't remember a lot of specific stuff about it except for Scott Bakula and his holographic companion that only he could see, and that they never really resolved what happened to him. But I think it's an okay show. Probably one of the better shows that poor Scott Bakula was on. But just a reminder that coming up in just a little over a week is going to be our extra live stream on the 25th. It's not just going to be me talking to you guys for an hour. It's going to be folks from this office playing a whole bunch of different games, including War Portal games, horror games, pigeon dating simulators. And we'll be playing that for over 24 hours. We'll be hanging out with you guys at this address, twitch.tv/warportal, asking for donations for Children's Hospital of California, of Orange County, I should say. A good cause, and we appreciate your support so far, and we'll be asking for more during the stream. So until then, guys, until this Friday, I will talk to you later, and aloha.